Grey Zone Warfare has a massive issue when it comes to balancing their weapons. The short version can be summed up pretty easily. Do you want to snipe? There's an M4 for that. Do you want a well-balanced rifle that excels at anything you throw at it? There's an M4 for that. Do you want a close quarters gun for the bunkers of YBL1? There's an M4 for that. This is not to say that all other weapons we currently have in the game are weak and unusable, but all of them are significantly worse than the M4/Mark 18. There aren't a lot of guns in Grey Zone Warfare to begin with, at least for now, but this heavily influences player choice towards not using anything else, especially since many of the other weapons are barely functional. Let's look at some of the areas where other weapons are supposed to excel at. The only long-range rifles we currently have available are the M700 and the Mosin. Those two are fairly balanced with each other. The M700 offers greater customizability and precision than the Mosin, while also being much more expensive. The Mosin is a great entry-level sniper that is available for cheap and can also be found abundant across the map. Fun fact, the Bramid silencer for the Mosin is the only silencer in the game that increases accuracy instead of decreasing it. Both of these should one-tap enemies to the chest, as they have armor-piercing ammo available that easily overcomes even the strongest blade carriers in this game. The problem? The M700 cannot reliably kill enemies with a single chest shot, for God knows what reason. In fact, the enemy in this clip confirmed to me that he had only received a medium bleed. This was a face shot with M61. But you know which gun can reliably one-tap to the chest? The M4. In fact, it is so reliable that I find myself not aiming for headshots anymore when I use it. The Mosin does this much better than the M700, but the M4 will still massively outshine it. Not to mention that a peak modded M4 is also more accurate than the Mosin. What about the next category? Let's look at what is available as extremely short-range weapons. Currently there's only a single submachine gun in the game, the VZ61 Scorpion. But you don't have to worry about it. It cannot kill enemies. Hollow point rounds are designed to be most effective against unarmored targets, so please observe what an entire magazine of these do to a dude wearing a flannel. And don't even get me started on shotguns. Look at this behemoth of a shotgun, loaded with the best buckshot rounds mankind has to offer, versus the same half-naked dudes. So what else is there? Right, the M4 with a 10.5-inch barrel, absolutely no recoil, extremely high fire rate of almost 850 rounds per minute with the JPGS 10D gas block, and a 60-round magazine loaded with bullets that can defeat even the best armor in the game. Do I need to say more? Yes, I do. In fact, I want to ask you to please subscribe to my channel to support me, as I have much more Grey Zone Warfare content planned in the future. Now let's get to the next category. A good all-around rifle for longer and shorter distances. Here the discrepancy in performance is a bit smaller, but still noticeable enough that all other options besides the M4 are used by either fans of a certain gun in real life or people trying to save a few dollars. The AKM suffers from high recoil and poor performance against level 3+ armor, even with its currently best round, the 7N23 BP. The SKS has very low recoil but suffers from having to use the same round, features an extremely slow reload, and is also a very heavy weapon. This leaves the AK-74 as the closest competitor to the M4, and it is honestly not bad. It weighs less than an M4, the rounds are decent, and the recoil is manageable. But let's really compare it to an M4. The BS round is less accurate than M55A1 and also has a much lower muzzle velocity. The recoil is still considerably higher than what an M4 has to offer, and its fire rate is much slower with 650 rounds per minute, giving it a disadvantage in close quarter combat. It also caps out at 30 rounds per magazine, which is only half of what the meta M4 has to offer. I wanna say I don't dislike the M4, in fact I love building 1 million different silly versions of it, but this makes me wonder about some of the decisions that were made at Madfinger Games, and if the game wouldn't be more balanced if the best 5.56 round was M855. Cheers guys, and don't forget, every move matters.